Welcome to All Things HHS, the podcast where we keep Hallsville High School parents in the know. I'm your host and a parent of each episode. We'll tackle your questions, share helpful updates, and give you an inside look at what's happening around HHS. All right, so we talk about the most important thing is to graduate.
Yes.
Right. That's why they've been here. Hallsville has done such a great job in getting them through 13 years of school. So a lot to know for graduation day. So kind of guide us on the date, the time, location, all the details like that.
Okay. Yeah, that meeting we have on senior walk day is really important because that's the last time we see all the kids before graduation practice. And so that's where I'll start. So on May 23rd is for students. It starts at 7:45 in the morning at the stadium. That's students only. Parents aren't invited to that. We've had some show up in the past. We have to ask them to leave. But we do breakfast for the kids at 7:45. We'll get Chick-fil-A biscuits, and they'll all get to eat breakfast together. And then we'll start graduation practice around 8. We try to get it done early because it gets hot.
Yeah.
And so...
And this is at the stadium.
It's at the stadium.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. They'll show up and they'll sit in the home side stands. They'll eat their breakfast. And then once that's done, they'll come down. We always tell kids wear sunblock because believe it or not, those couple hours, you could be real red in your graduation pictures later. So put on your sunblock, dress comfortably, come on down for that. All the kids will be instructed on where they need to sit, and we'll actually walk through graduation. Them walking across the stage, getting their diploma. And then after that, the students that are speaking at graduation, they'll stay after and they'll practice their speeches. Miss Roberts, Jennifer Roberts, one of our teachers, always does a great job helping our students with their speeches. And she stays to listen to them and help them as far as practicing. Believe it or not, we have a new sound system in the stadium this year. So it'll be the first time we're using that sound system. So we're going to really want to practice to make sure we're not getting any reverb off the buildings and things like that. I had a previous district, I had a student reading a speech, and it was the valedictorian, and I felt so bad because they would say it, and then they would hear it come back at them like a second later, and that delay was difficult.
Yeah, so I can imagine.
It was like, let's practice that. So made some adjustments in the future, and it helped it. So we're going to spend a lot of time doing that.
Okay. So what
that's
if they
the morning.
oversleep?
Yes, if they oversleep, they don't need to. We'll start telling their friends, hey, we're so-and-so, because we do take attendance because we'll have an open seat.
Correct.
And we know who's supposed to be there. So we'll get people to start calling them. We'll try to call, and we'll need them to get up there as quickly as possible.
That's good.
And in the event of an emergency and they just can't make it, they all learned how to play follow the leader in elementary.
Okay.
And it's pretty much that. They just need to follow the leader and do what the person that was there does. But
they are required to attend
it's a requirement for them to attend. Yes, ma'am.
Perfect.
So then moving along that day, you want me to keep going through the rest of the day?
Yeah, keep going.
So moving along through that day, the students will need to be back at 7:15. They'll report to the visitor side. And they all get checked, so we make sure that they have all their components that they need as far as their cap and gown goes, that they're not bringing in anything they shouldn't be bringing in.
Okay. So along that line, I'll stop you there.
Yes, okay.
As we go, I know that these are the questions that parents are going to have as we're going. Right. We talk about cap and gown, right?
Yes.
On their caps, can they put anything on the top of their caps, glitter it up, bling it out, anything like that?
We've had seniors ask that every year, and unfortunately for them, the answer is no. We put that H on top, and as a district, we've made a decision that we want everybody to look uniform. We've also had kids ask about, can I wear this?
A stole, something like that.
So kind of the high school's approach on stoles is the only people with stoles on camp on the field are going to be National Honor Society related stoles.
Okay.
Now you'll see a lot of kids with different cords. Okay. We have a lot of cords that different organizations have different colored cords, meaning different things. So you'll see a variety of cords out on the field, and those are fine as long as they've been school approved and things like that. But
So would you say that only cords and stoles issued by the school are what is accepted for graduation?
Yeah, for the graduation ceremony, yes. Now
ceremony.
afterwards, if they want to, if they want to put on something and take pictures with their family,
That's
they're
a great
more
idea.
than welcome to do that. But as
Yeah.
far as the ceremony goes, we want to keep it strictly to the school approved things, and go like that, because it could get a little wild if you just had open season on whatever they wanted to wear. But as far as pictures after with family, if they want to put something on that means something to them, that's up to them and their parents.
That's a good idea. Okay, so now we're dressed.
Yes.
And then what's next?
So they get there, they arrive at 7:15. You know, one of the things, I was not here at the high school prior to COVID, but due to COVID, they had to adjust the way they did some things at graduation, and the feedback we got from students was really, really positive. And what that was prior to COVID, they would meet at the junior high, and then they would form a long procession coming in. And the kids during COVID, it was like, well, we're not going to do that. We're going to spread out on the field. And they got to
Kind of
interact
start on
and
the
take
field.
pictures and all that kind of stuff. And so we've kept with that because the student feedback was that it was really positive.
Okay. It's their day. I know
Right.
the first time that I saw that, I was like, what do you mean there's no pomp and circumstance walking in? I was definitely thrown by that. So I'm glad we're having this so that way parents know that they start on the field. And
Well,
I believe they play the song,
Yes.
but it's not a procession into the...
Not a procession. They'll play the song and the kids will find their seats right before we get ready. But part of the deal with that is they're in their cap and gown. And as soon as the fireworks are over at the end, family's there. So they really don't get a time to take pictures with their friends and
I agree.
hang out. And I think that's what the students really liked about it is they can go around, visit each other, take pictures. And it's just kind of their time as a class to be together in their cap and gown before the official ceremony
Yeah.
starts.
Oh,
And
well,
so,
good question behind that. I'm glad you said kids on the field at the beginning. Can
Yes.
any parents be on the field in the beginning?
no, it's strictly the field will be closed off to anyone except staff that's approved to be on the field and students at that time.
Great.
And so parents can sit on both sides of the stadium. It's their choice where they want to sit. When we're at the stadium, it's kind of first come, first serve. The gates open at 6:30. Graduation starts at 8. And so when you guys get there, it's just up to them where they want to sit. There is a section of reserved seating for like spouses of the board members and different people that are part of the ceremony. But other than that, the rest of it is just open seating.
Okay. And I believe that the stadium does have seating for people with disabilities. So we're going to
Yes.
have a lot of grandmas, grandpas, and so they can be accommodated at the stadium.
Yes, they'll be accommodated with the appropriate seating, and if there's ever an event that someone's in that seating and you need access to it, we'll have staff members that they can ask to assist them, and we'll try to get everybody arranged so that they're not missing out.
Great. Good. Okay, so we're there. The kids are down there. We're getting ready.
Right.
It's hot.
It is hot. Yes. So I mean, nowadays they have those rechargeable portable fans. I would bring those.
Okay.
There aren't concessions or anything, but we do have one of our student groups, our law enforcement group. They sell water. They sell bottled water at graduation. I don't want to quote the price, but I think it's a pretty reasonable price, and so they'll have water available for people. And
Could you bring drinks in? I know the stadium has a policy of no food, no outside drink, so I didn't know what the policy would be for graduation.
Yeah, in the past we've limited what people can bring in because our security can't monitor that, and we don't want people bringing in things they shouldn't. Not saying any of our people would do that,
Exactly.
but we don't want to we want to celebrate, but not that type of celebration too early. You know what I mean? So
that's after.
that's afterwards. Yeah. So we have we have a policy that they'll come in and they don't need to bring anything else in with them except their balloons and cameras.
Yeah.
All that good stuff.
Okay. So we're in the stands and we're getting ready. What's prohibited to come in besides obviously our firearms? We can't shoot a gun when they announce their name. But can you do other things? Confetti? Anything's prohibited or?
Yeah, people bring in the confetti and stuff, and and people will bring in air horns. And my thing on all that stuff is when we start calling names, I want you to celebrate who you're there to see, but it's a pretty rapid pace. And so I would just say when you do that celebration, please try to keep it concise, because the next kid, we want their parents to be able to celebrate them too. And there's been some instances where, Uncle Joe gets on that air horn. And
5-minute air horn.
Oh, man. And he just keeps it going. And then it's like, poor kid, the next kid, I didn't even hear the name, and I'm standing up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we just ask everybody, like, of course, celebrate, but be respectful when you do that. And so that other kids can celebrate too.
Yeah, most definitely. Parents, it's hot, and you want it to go slightly fast, slightly not fast, because you want to just take in the moment. But you're right; those names, they go quick,
right?
And it works. Y'all have it down to almost an hour, and 356 students, or plus or minus, in an hour. It's amazing with speeches and fireworks, and so I get it. Yeah. So
and they're
no air horn for 5 minutes. Let's keep it short.
Right. And they're in their caps and gowns, so they're even hotter than us. They have another layer on, so we want to make sure that nobody overheats. We'll have medical staff on campus. We've had some issues in the past where some people have gotten too hot or things like that, and we always have been able to respond to that. We'll have the appropriate staff there to deal with that. So,
okay, perfect. Okay, so now we're seated. Graduation's taken place. We got the great fireworks at the end, and then, like you said, family can go down and take pictures after graduation.
Yes.
Is there a time? Are they cutting it off at 20 minutes or
once
football games?
Once the fireworks are over and we have a little bit of time to bring the lights back up where everybody can see, we let family down there. And we probably will put something on the scoreboard to kind of limit that. We don't want to cut everybody off right away, but at the same time, it's been a pretty long day, and we know people want to go have their parties where they're just their kid at their house celebrating and stuff like that. I don't know exactly how long that time will be, but we'll give you guys we'll give you guys ample time to celebrate though. I mean, it's a once in a lifetime thing.
Yeah,
so it's great.
Most definitely. So I've gotten questions from parents. Do you need a ticket to get in?
Right. So let me talk a little bit about that if the word ticket ever comes up. So graduation, you don't need a ticket. There's no ticket. Anybody can come to graduation. Now, let's say the weather's bad, because Texas, it could pop up, and if the weather's ever bad, what happens is if we ever have to cancel graduation on the original night, we reschedule it same time Saturday.
That happened last year. I believe.
I think we were talking about it. Did it happen? I don't even remember yesterday.
I've slept about 360 times since then.
But if we have to cancel it, we move it to the next night, same time. All right. And then if we have to cancel it the second night, that's where it gets a little bit more complicated. We look at doing it 2 p.m. on Sunday. Okay. Try to go in between church times. And of course, outside would be the best option, but if we can't do that and we have to give students tickets, then each student gets 5 tickets. We move the graduation into the Coliseum at the high school campus, and they're able to give their 5 tickets to the people they choose. And we've discussed this. We haven't had to do this yet, so it's just been discussion at this point if we're going to have like an overflow area in the pack or in the cafeteria where people could watch it. Don't know if we'll do that or not, because to be honest with you, it's a manpower thing of having people to manage those areas. And with the way we stream it anyway, they can watch it
from their house.
Yeah, they can watch it from their house, and then it kind of becomes an issue of too many people in one area if we try to do something like that.
Well, if you have a lot of your administrators at graduation, they're not available to monitor everywhere else.
Right, and that's where our focus would be. Our security and our admin would all be where the students are. So that's kind of why we necessarily wouldn't be able to open it up in other areas. So
okay, that makes sense.
But knock on wood, that doesn't happen, because it's beautiful where it is, and I want to keep. I want as many people there that want to come.
Yes,
so.
yes, especially the fireworks.
Yeah, it's great.
I think that got me more than announcing her name. For sure. That was the end, right?
Well, I'll tell you, that's the biggest, as principal, when those fireworks go off, it's like, okay, I can take a breath. because the ceremony's done. We've got them graduated. That was our mission.
Yeah.
And so now that's like, it's a good moment.
It is.
It's all a good moment. But that for me is like, all right, mission accomplished. And then I get to take a little breather before we start for the next group.
Yeah. You get 24 hours break and then you keep going.
There you go.
Okay, I think that answers a lot of questions that I've heard from parents that how do you do this? We've never done this before.
Right.
What to expect, and you did a fabulous job in that.